Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, home of the BitSquad, the largest and greatest crypto community in all of the interwebs. It's around the blockchain coming Monday through Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, talking about your favorite topics with your favorite guests. Today, no exception, we got an all-star lineup. We're going to start on the top right. You can see him streaming here from a Nicholas Sparks novel. It is Matty B. He's nice and cozy in his cabin. Then on the bottom right, you can catch him and his brother eating a beast burger. If you want to learn more, maybe check out his Twitter. There's a pretty enticing tweet on the timeline. Then on the bottom left, he wants you to let you know, hey, he's all about some Virginia Tech. Let us know your Virginia Tech, I don't know, ideals, your feelings about them, how they're going to do in the football season, all that good stuff in the comments. Tim
We're a basketball school now.
Yeah, Tim is going to be waiting eagerly to see what you think about Virginia Tech, so make sure you let him know. Then on the top left, we have Brad Varnell holding it down, Crypto Brad V, Infinite Crypto. But today, talking about Bitcoin options, we're also talking about Link rallying huge, and also Metamask and its corporate ties. But all right, first, let's look at the crypto markets and see where things are heading. We have Bitcoin looking pretty good right now, up about 2.7%. Ethereum up about 2%. Now, Tim, we're going to talk about the expiring options and, the bulls in control, the bears in control. Well, this is all expiring in about 2 days. Over the next 48 hours, who do you think is in control if you had to choose one?
When you're looking at what those are, there's a good, strong argument for bears, although I think the bulls are going to make a little run. Here's what I will say. I don't know about the rest of you guys. If you guys get yourself all worked up for these expiry calls and then we think it's going to be this massive force on the market and we get disappointed, I wouldn't put way too much weight into what ends up happening. It will help a little bit one way or the other. And it's looking, again, if I had to predict right now, I'm going to give a little bit more control to the bears. I don't know if we can get over that 21,000, but there's a chance. But either way, don't fut out just because we're below. Don't FOMO in if we get above. These things aren't always the greatest.
All right, great. All right, now, Altcoin Daily. I know you have good feelings about Bitcoin, strong feelings. You're a long-term hodler. I just kind of want to know, what is your opinion of the speculators in the market? I mean, obviously, there are some benefits. They're driving up volume. They're driving up institutional interest. They're driving up, people who want to turn $1 into $1.10 at some point. They're coming into the space because of these financial instruments. Do you consider these financial instruments a positive or a negative for Bitcoin?
Hey, DZ. Hey, BitBoy Crypto. Great to be here. Yes, I'm a long-term holder of Bitcoin. Market conditions like this, you gotta be. Am I right?
Yes.
As far as the speculators and the speculator instruments, it's, how do I feel about them? I don't have strong feelings about them. I guess directionally, I like the fact that there are speculative instruments and they're being created more and more, particularly from where Bitcoin was in the beginning when nobody cared about it. And then, 5 years in when people just kind of started caring about Bitcoin, but just like nerds and stuff. And now we're here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. Started from the bottom, now the whole team here. And what I'm saying is, if Bitcoin is the future, if crypto is going to get adopted, this is the kind of stuff that, of course, people are going to create because this is part of how adoption takes place.
All right, my next comment may not mean nothing to y'all, but let me know if you thought Altcoin Daily was going to turn into a Sprite can in the middle of that segment. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Some of y'all have no idea what I'm talking about. All right, now, Matty, I'm going to throw out some figures to you. We got Tim saying maybe we're putting too much weight on this stuff, but these are the put and call options. Now, they're different levels. Between 18 and 19K, the bears are in control for 270 million. Between 20 and 21K, the bears are in control 135 million. And between 21 and 22, it is balanced between the bulls and the bears. So as far as the numbers go, the bears are in control at the higher level. I mean, we got to go all the way to 22 before it's split even. Does this have any impact on the market, or are you just strictly, TA kind of predicts all of these moves?
Wow, it's a lot of numbers there, DZ. Thank you. This is what I think. I think it's another macro event, no different than an FOMC meeting. So there's going to be blood. It's going to go up, it's going to go down, and then 10:30 when I pour my 8th cup of black coffee, it'll have reverted back to the mean, and it'll be where it kind of left off before all the craziness ensues. But I don't really buy the numbers, like I think it's the market maker who's going to win. So if all the bears are favored to win, but the market maker is not going to come out on top, well, then that's not going to happen. But if the underdog bulls win and that makes the market maker money, well, then that's what's going to happen. So all these numbers, I just think they're fodder for all the speculators to, lose their minds. Eventually, it'll just revert back to the mean about 10:30 Friday morning.
All right. Well, let's talk about some of these numbers now. Brad, speculators and, where is it headed? We have the Bank of England. I don't know if you saw they're kind of reversing course with their monetary policy. It looks like they're going to maybe loosen controls a little bit. Bond purchases are back. So the markets over there, they're pretty generally happy about some of this macro news here, but we're seeing a distrust of financial segment. It just generally, we saw a huge spike of distrust in 08, 09. And now with, maybe it's COVID policy, maybe it's, just supply chain issues. Now more and more people are being distrustful of, you're printing money out of thin air. You don't know what you're doing up there. All the people in charge, they don't know what they're doing. They're kind of leading us down this road of inflation. This is making people more distrustful, I would say, about finance, generally speaking. Is that a positive or a negative for Bitcoin? Are people going to hear Bitcoin and think it's all the same stuff as those jokers over there? Or will that turn into this is different, and now it's positive?
Right. That's a great question. Thank you again for having me on the show. Always a pleasure to be here. And I think that's a huge positive. I think it's fantastic if the American population and the world population in general is starting to become distrustful of these guys. It should have happened a long time ago. When have they given us any reason to trust them? And I think that it's a positive, because if you don't trust the financial institutions and you're not trusting the people that are in the media telling us what's going to be happening, then the best way that you can insulate yourself and protect yourself is to buy Bitcoin. So I think it's a very big positive that people are starting to become distrustful. I'm glad to hear it, because in my opinion, for way, way, way too long, the sheep were following the sheep herder, just blindly, with no thought as to where he was leading them, and unknowingly realizing that he was taking them straight to slaughter. So I'm glad that people are waking up and starting to distrust the financial institutions.
All right. Good news there. All right. I would like more and more people to, let's educate the people, and that's what we're doing right here. And if you like that message getting out to the masses, hit that like button. Go ahead, hit it. It doesn't cost you anything. Go ahead, hit it. All right. Well, let's talk about one of my favorite coins. It is Chainlink. That's right. We're talking about Chainlink. It is one of DZ's favorites. I've long, had that viewpoint here. Well, according to Sentiment, they're showing massive signs of growth, and more people are saying it is decoupling from the larger crypto market. It's kind of had that narrative before, had that narrative 2-3 years ago, and now it's kind of coming back here. We're seeing massive growth. If we just kind of look here at the charts, just a couple things. One, generally the market's been down over the last month. It's reversing course. It's going up. The volume on the 24 up 80%. So in a day where the markets are down, I'll just, kind of show you here. Link coming in at number 20, up 15% on the week, while everything else just kind of hover around in the break even to maybe the plus 5% category here. So we have Link outperforming. Now, we can kind of get into the tech. Altcoin Daily, I know you've covered it. You've done plenty of Chainlink videos. You're much more educated than most people here. It's an oracle. It basically shares data between, different databases to the front end of a website, and allows you to update NFTs, update, crypto price charts. It can update a weather DApp that's using crypto. So this is the value proposition. But there's some people saying it's an old tech. It's not going to be around. And then on the other hand, you have people saying it is the future of finance and it's going to take down Google. The truth is somewhere in the middle. I mean, can you break that down? Where does the truth lie when it comes to Link and what its capabilities are?
Chainlink is rallying. Some people do say Chainlink is old tech. I'll tell you what's really old tech. Swift. There's no Swift payment system, information system. That's the old legacy system, uses it to move data, move information, move money. Swift is now using Chainlink, DZ. Did you know that Swift is using the cross-chain interoperability protocol, the CCIP, in an initial proof of concept? And basically, they're using Chainlink. And in addition to that, DZ, because it's not just that as to why Chainlink is moving today, but also Coinbase Cloud implementing Chainlink to launch NFT floor pricing feeds. So truly a great day for Chainlink holders.
All right. Well, Tim, he kind of put out some pretty good news there. It seems like the whales are taking advantage of some of this information. It's there's transactions over 100,000. It's a lot of Chainlink. I mean, we're looking at, I would say, roughly 15,000 there. So people trading more than 15,000 Chainlink transactions, over 100K, spiking tremendously here, Tim. What does whale activity typically do to a market? Are these people buying over the counter? I mean, do you see the wicks when, a whale makes a massive purchase? Are they going on Uniswap? How is this happening, and how does it affect the market?
Well, I wish I could tell you exactly how it's happening. I'm not going to be able to do that. As far as the charts are concerned, though, you definitely did have a lot of volume coming in here recently. Although they just had that conference. It's SmartCon. What's that? What was it called? SmartCon, something like that. Big like thing going on here. Obviously going to bring attention to it. What I will say, though, just on the chart side, kind of breathing some caution into the space. You have that sometimes happen. We've seen that happen with Bitcoin. We've seen that happen with Ethereum and other coins where there's a big conference coming up. There's some excitement that leads up into it. Yes, it brings attention. Yes, it brings more whale, which, by the way, I love that whales are moving into it for the price action because more often than not, those whales are coming from smart money, not from retail investing, which is good. The problem is, though, you're going to have kind of a sell the news type of thing happen now that the conference is coming towards a close. And the price level I would look at, real quick, I'll share my screen. I'll be very brief with you guys. But we are sitting here over the last couple of weeks, bumping our heads, and we've had some wicks break through. But right here, there's this zone, and I'm going to talk about the significance of it, around $8.08 all the way up to 8.2, so $8.20. We are bumping our head. We had a couple wicks break through on it, but the more and more we keep rejecting there, if we can keep setting higher lows like we're doing, we eventually should break through, but watch out for that. That is the golden pocket on Fibonacci. If you were to go back up to this peak we had back in August, down to the bottom here, what month was this? What is this? Still late August right there. We're hitting our heads right there in the golden pocket. A couple things are going to happen. Either we're going to drop back down to this blue line and can keep setting a higher low and then eventually break through with an ascending triangle, or maybe here very soon we can break through it. As a trader, though, someone watching the charts, I am a little hesitant short term, meaning the next couple of days with the sell the news type of thing happening. But long term, there's actually some technicals setting up that Chainlink could look very, very interesting over the next couple of months.
Yeah, it's hard to tell if that resistance is support yet, if they're going to break through, how thin is it? Now, Matty, keeping it in line with the charts here, I have TradingView pulled up. This is the daily chart. That was more of a short-term time frame. Here's more of a longer-term time frame. You can see the nice spike, and that's not even the May pump of last year. That's just that November pump there. In May, it was above $50. November, when Bitcoin set its all-time highs, it looked like it capped below $40. A lot of altcoins are starting to look like this, Matty. It's kind of reminding me of those 2019, 2020 vibes. It looks like maybe we're kind of finding some support for some of these stronger alts. You see that macro daily chart? I mean, is there any big picture story kind of screaming at you here?
Well, I do have a soft spot for Link. It was my first girlfriend altcoin. It was the first altcoin I invested in way back when. And when I look at that chart, it kind of reminds me of our relationship. Right? We got in, it's seemingly normal. All of a sudden, things got crazy, and we enjoyed this majestic rise to new highs that I just didn't think were possible. And then as quick as it came, all the fireworks seemed to kind of disappear, and I enjoyed an equally as majestic fall from grace with my little sweetheart Link, all the way to the bottom. So, I mean, what do they call it? The bear market baby? I mean, it was sure a bull run.
And your ex-girlfriend used to never go down, dude. 2018, 2019, your ex-girlfriend used to never go down.
That was perfect. Thank you very much for that one.
Matty, did you want to finish that thought or comment to what Altcoin just said?
I can't follow
Sound like
that
you already
up. That was
finished.
No
perfect.
rebuttal. Hey, I mean, I think the piano flourish at the end was worth at least 2 points. Let me know in the chat what you think that was worth. All right, now let's talk about I guess a relationship side of Link here. It does have a relationship with the crypto community at large. It's actually kind of been trending, quote unquote, on the social media analytics platform Lunar Crush. measured it as the #1 altcoin. Now, Brad, can it sustain, the next bull run? There's going to be a new pretty shiny item. There's going to be a new Sheeb. There's going to be a new Doge, even though Doge is old. There's going to be some sort of new hot thing, hot person around the block, you just can't take your eyes off of. Can Link keep relevancy for what we expect to be about 2 years? I mean, can it stay as a darling of the altcoin space for that long? Or do we too impatient in crypto?
Absolutely, it can. In my opinion, I think it's going to be the #1 oracle for a long time to come. I do think that some other projects might come in and get a little bit of market share and get a little bit of traction, but Chainlink is definitely my #1 bet in this space. I've owned it since way back in 2000. I want to say it was around 2018, 2019. And I'm looking forward and still accumulating it as we speak. I would love to see the Bitcoin pain that we've all talked about for a while now come and get, crash Bitcoin down to 10 to 14K and see some $3 or $4 Chainlink so that I could really gorge myself on some more. But yeah, man, Chainlink is by far the #1 oracle. There's nothing, in my opinion, that's even close at this point. And just like, Altcoin Daily, Aaron was talking about all of these, Coinbase and these different partnerships, and it's just going to continue. I think that kind of news is going to continue to come out more and more. And I think anybody that has Chainlink in their long-term bag is going to be very happy in a couple of years.
Yeah, I found out about Chainlink, the Biz board. So yeah, thanks to that community. But I didn't buy as much as I should have back then. I was buying Bitcoin like an idiot. All right, now let's talk about MetaMask and its new institutional partnership. Apparently, I actually just found this out today. I'm almost a little embarrassed. There's an entity called Metamask Institutional, and they just largely work with institutional clients, high net worth individuals or business entities. And now they have a new partnership with a NFT management service called Kobo. And now essentially it's just rolling out the DeFi arm of MetaMask Institution now is rolling out into an NFT custodial service, kind of helping walk people from point A to point B when it comes to these NFT assets. Imagine a Fortune 500 company, you're some sort of tech dev, and they rely on you to buy the $2 million crypto punk to hold in their coffer. It's probably a lot of pressure. So this is going to be working for those type of institutional clients here. Now, Matty, we see what the masses are willing to give up in the name of convenience. I'm trying to, make this where you can segue in some sort of relationship metaphor here. So we'll give up a little freedom for convenience. We'll give up a right for convenience. Will non-custodial services like this, is this going to be the wave of the future? Is this how we get everybody on board with crypto? Is not your keys, not your crypto dead?
No, and I'm always surprised when I hear this because I hate to, flog a dead horse, but not your keys, not your coin. I don't see why, every time you hear institutional investor, it's like, holy smokes, stop the presses. Come on in, institutional investors. NFTs, we got it perfect here. Bring all your money into this wallet. Is it safe? Yeah, it's pretty safe. Oh, okay, well, that's good enough for me. Let's do it. And then eventually it gets hacked. And then we got all the bad press, and it's just one more bad thing for crypto. It's like, oh, we need some regulation. Did you hear so-and-so institutional investor just got hacked? We can't have that. So I don't understand why it still happens to this day. I mean, do your research. You have to protect your coins. I don't care how big you are, you have to protect them.
Hey, that's a good point, bringing up regulation. And, the corporate donor all of a sudden gets very, very mad and calls up their favorite politician. Now, Altcoin Daily, right. Do you think regulation will kill non-custodial wallets? I mean, are we going to lose our power here because of a few bad actors, or I don't want to say bozos? We're all new at crypto at some point, but a couple people lose their keys, lose their company's money, or there's a hack. I mean, is this over? I mean, is this the way regulation is going to use its new tactic to take away our rights?
If regulation ended up killing non-custodial custody for people like us and anybody, that would not be good. That would be detrimental. I really don't think that's close to happening. Is that a possibility? Sure. But here's the thing. We're talking about regulation in America. in America, and overall non-custodial. You can just, and depending on what protocol, you can just, spin that up yourself or just go any place else in the world. And it's the better option, right? If you want to take that responsibility, it's the better option, non-custodial. So it would definitely hurt things here in America, and maybe it would have be a blip on crypto's radar. But this thing is only going to one direction, DZ. That's up and to the right.
All right. Well, speaking of up and to the right, I mean, people are saying their UI is down and to the right, Tim. I mean, they haven't had many new features with MetaMask. You think of apps, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. They're rolling out new features. They got new products that they're offering. They're doing new things, Twitter Spaces or collabs and whatnot. So we're seeing other tech entities, they upgrade. They keep innovating here. MetaMask really hasn't innovated. Do you think that MetaMask or institutional, is it taken away from what we would be receiving on the non-institutional side, or are they focusing too heavily on the high net worth individuals?
I have no idea. There's no idea whatsoever. I think that they're just trying to really get in and continue to adapt with the times. I thought something was interesting. You asked a completely different question. I don't know. I'm going to answer the way I want to answer, though. When you're reading that article, an interesting concept came up. We actually were talking about this over on Coffee and Crypto this morning, that there are people who want to have their cake but then eat it too, and they want to keep centralization out, and at the same time, though, have the prices go up. And here's a concept we're just going to have to get used to. The more the more decentralized we keep cryptocurrency, which is a positive, and the longer we keep outside entities, not even just institution, but other retail investors coming in, the longer we're going to continue to move sideways. I know Altcoin Daily just said up and to the right. Well, guess what? The more decentralized we stay, which I believe is good long term, the more sideways we're actually going to have. Regulation and centralization actually could probably lead to some up and the right moves short term, and what a lot of people are going to be excited about. But they don't want the control to come in, and it's getting to a place of like, hey, do you want decentralization? Okay, that's great. Get ready to fight. This is the phase in Bitcoin and crypto that they've laughed at it. They've ignored it before. They've laughed at it in recent years. We are entering into the place where the institutions and centralized authorities are going to start fighting against Bitcoin. And the way they're going to do it is by saying, all right, we know that crypto is the future. Let's start doing these things where we bring in some centralization. Let's get this strict regulation. Let's encourage people to continue to use centralized exchanges to make money. And what they're going to do is they're going to make it hard to have your keys to yourself. And one of the things that we're seeing kind of keep retail investors from investing is, I don't know about you guys. You guys have been in here for a while. Newer people have this frustration where if it's not simple, like at the snap of the finger, if they can't click like one or two buttons and invest, to them it's too complicated. And the current situation to get money onto a cold wallet to the average retail investor is complicated. So until we get that a little bit more simpler, if you want to see Bitcoin and crypto go up and to the right, centralization and regulation is a necessity. I'm not saying we have to. I'm saying if you want to keep decentralization in place, expect sideways and potentially even downward. If you're willing to embrace regulation and centralization, then we can see some up to the right. Long-term up and the right is coming, but this is a place where people need to realize you can't have your cake and eat it too. There is going to be a couple more years where this is a battle.
Yeah, I mean, the more centralized you are, the more likely you have teams working on new products, new features. All right. Well, Brad, MetaMask essentially is a monopoly when it comes to EVM wallets. I know there's other ones out there, but no one I know uses anything except for MetaMask. Literally not one person I've asked. Everybody I know uses MetaMask when it comes to Ethereum transactions. Is this going to change anytime soon? Do you see them having a monopoly for till the end of time? I mean, when Vitalik's a cyborg, are they still going to be in control here?
I think they're probably going to be in control for a while. I love what Tim just said, and I really think that he nailed it right on the head, that some regulation is definitely going to be good for the up and to the right. I really agree with that point of view. And I think that, something like MetaMask is simple and it is easy. And unfortunately, as Tim pointed out, the masses just aren't willing to put in the time and the effort, for the majority of them. So I think that MetaMask has a big first mover advantage. I think it's going to be the number one way to go for quite a while. But one of the things that I liked about what Tim said that I want to add to is I also am a huge proponent. I love decentralization. Of course, I'm here in crypto for the decentralization, but I'm also, when I first got involved in crypto, I ain't going to lie, I didn't give one squat about decentralization. I got involved in crypto to change my life financially, to get freedom. I was tired of somebody else telling me when I could go to the bathroom, when I could take a vacation. And I got into crypto because I saw it as a way to increase the wealth in my life immensely. And it's done that. And what I want people to understand is decentralization. Yeah, it's amazing. It's a good thing. But are you going to be happier with several million in your bank account and a more centralized crypto? Or are you going to be happier with decentralized across the board and still going to your job every day and barely able to pay your bills? So I think it's important to have a combination of the two. But folks, man, if you really want to get wealthy and you want to increase that freedom in your life, I think a little bit of regulation can go a long ways in making that happen.
Yeah, I wasn't complaining when the Solana I bought for under $20 went up to $250. I wasn't complaining. I was not complaining about its centralization. To be fair, now I hate it and I can't stop complaining. But that's a different story. Shout out to Crypto Billy. Almost forgot you here, buddy. You are not informed if you don't watch Altcoin Daily. Facts there. So appreciate the shout out for Altcoin Brothers there. But that is all we have time for. And looks like Matty B won it. I think it was those 2 extra points on that piano flourish was the exact amount to put you there on top there. So Matty B, feel free. Leave us with some parting thoughts, please, my friend.
Well, thanks again for having me, DZ. It's always a pleasure to be on the panel here at Around the Blockchain. You always do an amazing job at hosting. Good job, DZ. I wrote this one for Altcoin Daily. It's called Dirty Gary Gensler. We know where you've been, sir. You're never gonna win, sir. You're Dirty Gary Gensler. Dirty Gary Gensler. Start repenting for your sins, sir. Who's the crooked swindler? Why, and sing it with me, Altcoin Daily. Dirty Gary Gensler. Around the Blockchain was filmed before a live studio audience. Roll the credits, Daisy.
Someone meant that into an NFT. That is all we got time for today, BitSquad. Until next time, peace out.